Well, today I've decided to take a look at the history of fish and chips, and I'm going to have a chat with Derek, who owns Dizzy's Takeaways. Let's go and have a chat with him.
Hello Janelle, how are you today?
Good, thank you very much. Derek, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, yes.
Now I hear that you're the man to see about the history of fish and chips.
Oh, you could say that. I know a bit about fish and chips, so I can show you right now if you like. Would you like to come around here?
Great.
Hi, I'm Derek Marshall. I'm the owner of Dizzy's Fish and Chip Shop in Don Street in Invercargill.
Now Derek, just before we get into the history of fish and chips, tell us a wee bit about how to make a good chip.
Okay, well the first thing is you need some good oil. We use vegetable oil, which is low in saturated fat. The size of the chip is important. You need 13mm chips are the smallest that you would use. Don't use too much salt. And you pop it in your fat and just do it for 3 to 4 minutes, and make sure you drain the chips well, at least for 20 seconds, and you should have a good portion of chips.
Now Derek, just looking into this bucket here, you've got it full of chips.
Yes.
What's the difference between these chips, wedges, crinkle cut, straight cut?
Well, the main difference, to get a healthy chip, you need a chip that's not too small and not too crinkle cut. The area of the chip is too much. You're going to get a much fattier chip. So you want a straight chip that's at least 13mm, and you're going to end up with a much healthier chip. It won't absorb so much oil.
Now tell us a wee bit about the history of fish and chips.
Well, it's particularly relevant this year. It's the 150th anniversary of the beginning of fish and chips, and it's believed by the National Fish Fries Federation in Britain that it started in 1860. There was the Mallon family in London. Was their 13-year-old son Joseph who thought about serving chips with fish, and he was the first person to do it. But they also say there's the Belgium housewives did it over there because they couldn't get fish out of the rivers in the winter because they were frozen over, so they used to make potatoes in the shape of fish, and so that's another origin of perhaps fish and chips. So yeah, it's been around for a long time, but it's changed a bit over the years, and the way we make them now is probably quite a bit different to the way they made them in the old days. Hi Darren, how are you today?
Great.
$3 of chips?
Lovely, thank you very much.
Not a problem at all.
You've got the best chips in town. I've told one of my colleagues, so they'll be over shortly to get some too.
Oh well, that's good. Come in for some chips, not a problem whatsoever. It is definitely a New Zealand icon, so it's part of our history as well, really. So it probably came over with immigrants from the UK, and it's developed here, and it's still a very popular dish in New Zealand.
And it's a very cheap and easy meal for your families as well, isn't it?
It is. It's very cheap and easy. You can feed a family for a very reasonable price.
Well, Derek, thank you very much for sharing the history and, of course, giving us some good advice on how to make a beautiful chip.
Not a problem, Janelle. You're very welcome. Here's some chips for you to enjoy.
Thank you very much.